The champagne flutes sat untouched on my kitchen counter, still wrapped in their protective packaging. 6 months of planning, countless vendor meetings, and a non-refundable deposit of $90,000. All of it hung in the balance because of a phone call I'd received 3 hours ago. "Sarah, we need to talk about your wedding date." Mom's voice had that particular tone she used when she'd already made a decision and was simply informing me of it. The tone that meant this wasn't a discussion. It was a directive. I'd been reviewing seating charts with my fiancé Marcus when she called. We'd just finalized the table arrangements after weeks of careful planning, making sure elderly relatives weren't too far from bathrooms and ensuring feuding cousins were strategically separated. "What about it? Your sister needs that weekend. She's getting married again and the venue she wants only has that date available. The Grandview Estate, you know the one. Very exclusive." I set down my pen slowly, a cold feeling settling in my stomach. "Mom, that's our date. We've had it booked for 6 months. We signed contracts." "I understand, sweetheart, but this is important. Emma's been through so much with her divorces. 2 failed marriages really take a toll on a person. This could be the one. David seems different from the others. This is her 3rd wedding, Mom. In 5 years. Exactly why we need to make it special. She deserves happiness after everything she's been through. You know how sensitive she is about her past relationships." Marcus watched my face carefully, already knowing where this conversation was headed. We'd been together for 8 years, engaged for 2. Emma had been married and divorced twice in that same period. "We've already sent save the dates to 200 people," I said, keeping my voice level. "They've blocked off their calendars, booked flights, arranged childcare. Some of our friends are coming from overseas. They'll understand if you explain. These things happen all the time. Family comes first, Sarah. You've always understood that. Besides, Emma has her heart set on the Grandview Estate, and they only have your date available for the next year. You know how hard it is to book that venue." "Mom, we booked the beachfront venue in Malibu. We've paid deposits to the caterer, the photographer, the florist, the band. Everything's arranged. The contracts have cancellation penalties. We're talking about thousands of dollars in non-refundable deposits. You can reschedule all of that. The beach will always be there. But Emma needs this, and I need you to be the bigger person here." I looked at Marcus, who shook his head slightly. We'd been through this pattern before. Emma's needs always took priority. Her first wedding had conflicted with my college graduation. I'd skipped the ceremony to be her maid of honor. Her second wedding had been scheduled the same weekend as my job interview for a position I'd worked years to qualify for. I'd declined the interview. "What does Dad say about this?" I asked. "He agrees with me. Emma's happiness is what matters. You and Marcus have been together forever. You can wait a few more months. Emma needs to secure this while she has the chance." "The chance," I repeated. "Before the venue books up. Before David changes his mind. You know how these things work." David was Emma's current fiancé. They'd been together for 4 months. "Mom, I'm not changing our wedding date." The silence on the other end lasted exactly 5 seconds. Then her voice turned cold. "I see. So you're going to be selfish about this." "I'm not being selfish. I'm keeping the wedding date we planned and paid for. Your father and I contributed to that wedding budget, young lady. We have a say in this. You contributed $5,000. We've spent $90,000 total. That $5,000 was a gift, and gifts can be revoked. If you won't be reasonable about this, don't expect us to be there. And don't expect any of the family to choose your wedding over Emma's. You're forcing everyone to pick sides." Marcus reached over and squeezed my hand. "I'm not forcing anything," I said quietly. "We're keeping our date. Then you're on your own. Don't come crying to us when you have an empty venue because everyone chose to support your sister instead." She hung up. Marcus pulled me into a hug. "You okay?" "No," I admitted. "But I'm done letting them do this." Over the next week the calls started. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all with the same script. Couldn't I be more flexible? Didn't I understand how important this was for Emma? Why was I being so stubborn? My father called on day 3. "Your mother's very upset." "So am I, Dad. Emma's fragile right now. This wedding could really help her get back on her feet." "And what about my wedding?" "You're stronger than Emma. You can handle disappointment better." That sentence sat in my chest like a stone. 29 years of being the reliable one, the flexible one, the one who could handle disappointment. I'm keeping the date, Dad. Then I hope you and Marcus will be very happy together, because you're making a choice that's going to cost you your family. He hung up too. That night, Marcus and I sat on our apartment balcony watching the sunset. What do you want to do? He asked. I want to get married, I said. I want the wedding we planned. I want the beach and the sunset and the people who actually care about us. Then that's what we'll do. My entire family just uninvited themselves. Your family maybe, but not our family. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling through our guest list. Look at this. Your college roommate who flew in from Tokyo for your engagement party and already bought her plane ticket for the wedding. My cousin who helped me pick out your ring and took time off work 6 months in advance. Your mentor from work who's been asking about the wedding for months and already ordered a custom gift. The friends who've been there for every milestone, who threw you that surprise 30th birthday party, who helped us move into this apartment. That's family too. Real family. I looked at the list, really looked at it. He was right. Out of 200 guests, maybe 30 were my blood relatives, and most of those were distant cousins I saw once every few years. The rest were people who'd chosen to be in our lives, who'd celebrated with us during good times and supported us through bad, who showed up when it mattered without being obligated by genetics. You know what? I said slowly. I have an idea. Marcus raised an eyebrow. I know that look. What are you planning? What if we just did it? Kept it secret from my family, had the wedding exactly as planned, and let them figure it out afterward. They'd lose their minds. They're already not coming. They've already chosen Emma's wedding. So what difference does it make? He considered this. You want to go full stealth mode? Complete radio silence. We tell the guests the truth, we have our perfect day, and we don't say a word to my parents or Emma until it's done. They'll find out eventually. Eventually isn't now. And by the time they do, we'll be married and they can't do anything about it. The smile that spread across Marcus's face told me he was in. We spent the next week making calls. Every guest on our list except my blood relatives got a personal call from us. We explained the situation, asked for their discretion, and almost everyone immediately agreed. Some were angry on our behalf. Others weren't surprised. Your mom pulled this at your graduation, my former roommate Jennifer said. I remember. You've been letting them do this your whole life. Not this time, I told her. The RSVPs came back. Out of 170 non-family guests, 168 confirmed. We were going to have our wedding. My mother called twice more, each time asking if I'd come to my senses. Each time I told her I was still thinking about it. Let her think she was wearing me down. Let her believe I'd cave like I always had. Emma called once. I heard you're being difficult about the date. I'm keeping my wedding date, Emma. You're really going to make me find another venue? Do you know how hard it is to plan a wedding? You've done it twice before. I think you'll manage. She gasped like I'd slapped her. That's cruel. What's cruel is asking me to cancel my wedding for yours. Family is supposed to support each other. You're right, I said. They are. I hung up before she could respond. 2 weeks before our wedding date, my mother left a voicemail. I hope you're happy. Emma found a venue for 2 weeks after your date, but it's not what she wanted. She's settling because of your selfishness. I hope you can live with that. I deleted the message. The Thursday before our Saturday wedding, Marcus and I took the day off work. We loaded our already packed bags into our car and drove to the airport. We'd moved the wedding up by 12 hours, starting Friday evening instead of Saturday afternoon. One more layer of protection. Friday afternoon, we stood on a beach in Malibu, surrounded by 168 people who'd chosen to be there. Jennifer was my maid of honor. Marcus's brother stood as his best man. The sunset was perfect. The flowers were exactly what I'd wanted. The photographer captured every moment. We said our vows as waves crashed behind us. I promised to choose him every day. He promised to build a life where I never came second. When the officiant pronounced us married, the cheer that went up could probably be heard a mile away. At the reception, my mentor from work gave a toast. I've watched Sarah navigate impossible situations with grace for 5 years. Today she chose herself. That takes more courage than any of us realize. The party lasted until midnight. We danced, we laughed, we celebrated with people who genuinely loved us. Not one person mentioned my absent family. It was like they didn't exist. Saturday morning we posted the photos. All of them. The ceremony, the reception, the sunset, the cake cutting, the first dance. Jennifer had created a beautiful video montage set to music. We uploaded everything to social media with a simple caption, "Best day of our lives. Married June 15, 24. Then Marcus and I boarded a plane to Bali. We were somewhere over the Pacific Ocean when my phone started blowing up. I turned off notifications but I could see the number count climbing. Messages, missed calls, voicemails piling up. I showed Marcus. 63 notifications in 2 hours. Going to look? Not until we land. We touched down in Bali 14 hours later. I turned my phone back on while we waited for our luggage. 147 notifications. The messages were a mix. Friends sending congratulations. Distant relatives who'd seen the posts asking why they weren't invited. And then my immediate family. Mom, how could you do this? Mom, you lied to us. Mom, you had a wedding without your own mother? Mom, everyone is asking me why I wasn't there. I'm humiliated. Emma, you're unbelievable. You had your wedding anyway and didn't even tell us. Emma, people are commenting on your photos asking about me. This is MY weekend. Dad, very disappointed in your behavior. Call me immediately. Aunt Linda, your mother is devastated. How could you be so selfish? And then buried in the middle from my cousin James, good for you. Your wedding looked beautiful. Congrats. I showed Marcus the messages. He scrolled through them, his jaw tightening. They're mad they couldn't control you, he said finally. They're mad they look bad, I corrected. Mom's humiliated because people are asking questions. Emma's upset because my wedding is getting attention during her weekend, even though my wedding was first. What do you want to do? I looked at my phone at the guilt trips and accusations and demands. Then I looked at my new husband, at the ring on my finger, at the beautiful island stretching out before us. Nothing, I said. I want to do absolutely nothing. I want to enjoy my honeymoon with my husband, and they can figure out their own feelings. I turned my phone on airplane mode and dropped it in my bag. We spent 2 weeks in Bali, snorkeling, temple visits, beach dinners, couples massages. We talked about our future, about the family we'd build together, about the boundaries we'd need to maintain. You know they're not going to let this go, Marcus said one evening as we watched the sunset from our villa. I know. But I'm done letting their inability to be happy for me dictate my choices. Even if they cut you off completely? Even then. I spent 29 years trying to earn their approval by being whoever they needed me to be. I'm done. When we returned home there were more messages. Mom had called 12 more times. Emma had sent a long text about how I'd ruined her wedding weekend by stealing her thunder. Dad had sent one line, "When you're ready to apologize, we'll talk." I read them all, then blocked their numbers. It's been 3 months now. We're settled into married life. Our apartment has wedding photos on every wall. Friends still comment on how beautiful the day was. A few family members reached out privately to apologize for not standing up for us sooner. My parents and Emma haven't contacted me since I blocked them, though I heard through my cousin that Emma's wedding went off without a hitch. She got her perfect day at the Grandview estate. And I got mine too, on a beach in Malibu, surrounded by people who chose love over obligation, with a man who promised I'd never come second again. I don't regret a single decision. Not the secret planning, not the social media reveal, not the blocking. Because for the first time in my life I chose myself. And that choice gave me the most perfect day I could have imagined. The champagne flutes are unpacked now, sitting in our kitchen cabinet. We use them for special occasions, like the night we got back from Bali and toasted to our future, to our freedom, and to the family we're building together. We chose ourselves. And we'd do it again.